Hi everybody, I just wanted to bring you a quick update on my Pan Those palettes. Not a huge month, but just wanted to kind of show you where things are at and kind of where I think things are going. So let's go ahead and start with my face palette. So no noticeable changes here, but as you can see, it's a baked face palette, so really difficult to see some progress here. But I think the domes here are getting smaller and smaller. Maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but this one back here looks huge, but I think this one started really big. But anyways, I really do enjoy these shades, especially during the summer. I think I'll try to keep this in for another month, but I can definitely tell that I am starting to get a little bit burnt out by this, not really gravitating towards this. I was using another blush during my trip as well, and so kind of wanting to start to explore other things in my collection. But I think I'll give this another month, at least 2 weeks, because I did put this shade into a project to use, I think, 10 times at the very least. So I need to reach for this palette anyways for another 10 times. So that'll be the plan for this one. And then my eye palette is probably the one of the more exciting things, is that I did end up hitting pan in another shade. I was thinking of even frankening this sooner than later, but it's actually this light bright shade has actually worked out really well for me in terms of buffing things out. So I'm gonna keep it in, continue to work at it until I really feel like I need to repress it. And then this is a new shade that I also repressed here. It's actually probably the missing shade of the palette. It's like kind of a nice champagne-y tone there. Sorry, that swatch isn't very good. But yeah, there was like no shimmery light shade, which was weird to me. But yeah, I think I'm also starting to get a little burnt out by this palette, although this is a very fall tone palette. So I'm going to try to bring it in for at least a month or two. I have some goals on this shade right here in the middle. So yeah, so I'm excited to pick this back up and see what I can really do over the next few months. I'm debating whether this will be my dedicated eyeshadow palette for the next year, but we'll see about that. Right now I'm using a Franken eyeshadow palette right now for another project, and I think because of that haven't been able to make much progress on this, and I didn't bring it on my recent trip, so not much progress on this, but at least there is one pan, and I'm hoping that I'll see a bigger dip in this one by the time I'm done with the challenge. And we'll see about some of the other shades, not sure yet, hoping just to see more dips in, especially I think at least one of the shimmer shades, and then in terms of crease shades, I hope to see a bigger dip maybe in this one for sure, and then hopefully this one as well. But these are just, I just have such a light hand in terms of darker shades, so I don't expect to see much progress there. All right, the next thing is my lip palette. As you can see, there has been some changes. There's been some movement on this, not as much movement on this cream blush as I wish. Let me just try to scoot it over to maybe make it more true to pan. I mean, it's close to my goal. I was hoping to have about a third of the pan left. I mean, you can tell me if that's a third or not. I don't quite think so, but I'll keep working at it. I did not bring this with me on a trip, so I kind of lost a week's use on this. But I've been, once I got back, I started to use it more and more. As you can see, I have a pan here, which I'm very excited about. It's quite thin actually in the middle, and I've been using it as part of my cream blush concoction, so that's been going as well. As you can see, I have two tiny new pans, one here and one in the corner here. That's kind of my cheat way of panning this palette. But this shade is just super kind of bright bubblegum pink, at least it feels that way. And so I've been trying to just to hit pan and get some use on this. And then this is actually I used up this shade. It was empty, I think, last time I showed it. But I actually had a lipstick break on me, and which is kind of a very balmy lipstick. It's very sheer. You can like barely tell it's on my finger. But it is slightly warmer tone. As you can see, it's probably one of the darker shades in my palette. So I've been kind of mixing it in with these brighter shades to kind of tone them down a little bit, and I think that's been working. So I think for the next month, I am hoping to I would love to finish this cream blush. I am so ready for that to be done, just because I basically use lipsticks as cream blush anyway, so having a dedicated cream blush doesn't make a ton of sense to me. Hoping to expand this pan a bit, hoping to expand the pan on these two. I do have usage goals on those ones for another project, so I'm hoping that we'll see movement in this one. The last thing here is, you won't see much difference, but this is my concealer palette from MAC. I've been really enjoying using NW25 under my eyes this summer. I think that's actually this shade over here, which is why you see kind of a bigger dip there. Or maybe that's the other way around. I don't quite have my numbers, I think, correct. Yeah, I think it's this one over here. And then, but yeah, but I'm almost done with my like liquid contour. That's been a long time coming, but I'm gonna actually dip into this as my, kind of my contour moving on, my liquid cream contour bronzer. So I actually want to see what damage I can do in terms of that. I have like other liquid contour type products in the wings, but I do want to see if I can at least make a dip on this. So hopefully by the next update, you'll see larger dips in this because I hope to finish my Franken um, liquid contour within the next week. So hoping I can see more progress there. And I've also just been really enjoying this under my eyes. It's great coverage, really lightweight, just because I use a very, very thin layer of it. And it's been a great palette for me so far. So this is going to be the lineup for the next month. I'm very excited to see the progress I'll make. And hopefully you'll come back and check out my progress next month. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.